Right then, so obviously Mike Perry is coming off a win against Thiago Alves last night at BKFC Mania. And yes, what's next for Mike Perry, I think, is a big question, of course. Could he be moving over to boxing to fight Jake Paul if Mike Tyson can't end up making the fight? Or could he be going up against Darren Till in BKFC? It's going to be interesting, to be fair. Two interesting fights to talk about for Mike Perry. Obviously, very entertaining every time Mike Perry's fighting in BKFC. Obviously, went from a really mediocre and disappointing UFC and MMA career in general, and then becoming, the main man, the face of BKFC, to a massive fan favorite everywhere. To be fair, I can't think of anyone who doesn't like Mike Perry. I think everyone likes Mike Perry. To be fair, massive fan favorite, but who does he fight? Does he go to boxing and fight Jake Paul on Netflix if that Mike Tyson fight can't happen? Or does he fight Darren Till in BKFC? Or are both fights even on the table? Does he go to fight Jake Paul if Mike Tyson pulls out in July, and then later in the year, does he go and fight Darren Till in BKFC? I think both could be possible. But yeah, first of all, talking about Mike Perry and Jake Paul, I think it's an interesting one because, if Mike Tyson pulls out of the fight, then I think Mike Perry's a good replacement for the entertainment value. 100% it would be. Mike Perry's always in a good fight, and I feel like he's got a style that could trouble Jake Paul. He's got a good, solid, come forward style, applying the pressure, and just likes to make the fight an absolute war and is there for the entertainment. So, no matter what, you'll get entertainment with Mike Perry, and I think Mike Perry could beat Jake Paul, to be fair. I think the fight goes one or two ways. Mike Perry is either able to get to where he wants to be on that inside, beating down Jake Paul, or at mid-range, beating him down with some big shots, with his quick hands that he's got, and, the power that Mike Perry's got in his hands as well. He'll eventually get to where he wants to be after taking a bit of damage in that fight and eventually getting Jake Paul out of there. So let's be real, I don't think Mike Perry will be able to win a decision against Jake Paul. So I think Mike Perry would either knock Jake Paul out after taking a bit of damage early on, but eventually getting to where he wants to be, putting his shots together well and getting Jake Paul out of there, possibly stopping him or even knocking him out. Or the fight even goes the way of Jake Paul, where Mike Perry's just taking a beating for 6 or 8 rounds or something like that. What happens? I can't see someone like Jake Paul knocking out Mike Perry. I don't see it. Jake Paul stands no chance of knocking Mike Perry out. I think it either goes one or two ways. Mike Perry brutal stoppage win, or a Jake Paul decision win. That's what happens. But there are downsides to it happening though. Obviously, for an entertainment value, the hardcores of combat sport in general would, want this fight to happen because it's intriguing to a lot of the hardcore fight fans. But if you're looking at it because Jake Paul and Mike Tyson is aimed at casual fans, 100%, this is a fight which is aimed at casual fans to be shown on Netflix. That's what Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson showed. If you stick Mike Perry in there for Mike Tyson, none of those casual fans are interested. And the fight and the fact that the fight with Jake Paul and Mike Tyson is being shown on Netflix, does Mike Perry versus Jake Paul sell? Well, it won't sell because Netflix is free. But, does it bring in a lot of interest for Netflix? And, would it bring in as much viewers and the overall money to it? I don't think it would. No way. But, overall, it would just be a good fight to put on the zone if that Mike Tyson fight doesn't happen. And let's be real, all of us hardcore fight fans don't want Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson to happen. Let's be real, we don't. I think we'd rather see Mike Perry versus Jake Paul. And, it's definitely a fight that's winnable for Mike Perry as well. So, yeah, who cares about the casuals if we're being honest? Who cares what the casuals think about that fight being shown on Netflix and all of that with Jake Paul and Mike Tyson? It's a big money fight and all that, but none of us hardcores want that fight. All of us hardcores, care a lot about Mike Tyson because he's an absolute legend to the sport. But yeah, I know for a fact Mike Perry could go in there and put a real beating on Jake Paul. Could Mike Tyson at this time? I don't know. I would back Mike Tyson to beat Jake Paul as well, though, at the moment. But again, I'm not sure Jake Paul could knock him out. And I could be very wrong. I might be being a bit too optimistic saying that Mike Tyson would beat Jake Paul. But I think Mike Perry could 100%. But yeah, next up, Mike Perry versus Darren Till. Interesting fight, in my opinion. Darren Till would definitely be the more, he definitely, bring the more skill into the fight out of the two. This would happen in BKFC, by the way, not boxing. Mike Perry, Jake Paul would happen in boxing. Mike Perry, Darren Till happens in BKFC. Darren Till's been working a bit on his boxing as well, it looks like. Well, as we know, that's what he's been taking time off from MMA just to focus on the overall boxing side of things. As we know from Darren Till's overall stand-up game in MMA, likes to use the kicks a lot. And, he's got a fairly wide stance, keeps his hands away from his face quite a bit. And overall, I don't trust the overall punch resistance of Darren Till. Darren Till would definitely be more technical than Mike Perry and, would be able to put big shots together. And I feel like Darren Till would be the more clever out of the two in there. But overall, Mike Perry would take him out, in my opinion. Mike Perry would get Darren Till out of there in 100% in my opinion. I don't trust Darren Till's punch resistance whatsoever to be able to hold up against someone like Mike Perry, who's got really quick hands and big power in his hands as well. I just don't trust Darren Till's chin to be able to hold up. And, who even trusts Darren Till's heart either? That's a big thing. So, yeah, but I do think Mike Perry and Darren Till would make for and then, I think it'll be a bit of a bloodbath for however long it lasts. Mike Perry definitely wins it, though, and I think it could make for an entertaining build-up as well, Mike Perry and Darren Till. So, yeah, I think both these fights for Mike Perry, Jake Paul in boxing, no matter what, even if it's not instead of the Mike Tyson fight, Mike Perry versus Jake Paul in boxing down the line, I think it's an interesting fight anyway, even though I want Jake Paul out of boxing completely. And I think Mike Perry would be a good guy to, completely put that beating on Jake Paul and send him away from boxing, in my opinion. But yeah, Mike Perry, Darren Till, BKFC makes for a good build-up, makes for a good fight. But yeah, I think both fights, I'm pretty sure Mike Perry beats Darren Till, and I think Mike Perry can beat Jake Paul as well, 100% in boxing. So yeah, anyway, thanks for watching this video, King. I'll speak to you in a bit. Thanks for watching. Peace out.